Welcome to second part of interconnect modeling. First one we look into lump RC, second one we're looking into distributor RC modeling, and within that we are looking into Elmore delay model. The first thing is tree network, which is something like this, which I was explaining. Okay, how to calculate R and C in Elmore. Okay, let's say, I put some examples here. Um, let's say we want to, okay, in this case, I'm just looking at this one. Between, we want to measure time constant between this node I and node 4. So you need to find delay between this and this. And you need to find time constant. And for that time constants, resistance and capacitance, those are the two things we need to find. How you find resistance, that is the example I'm showing here, two examples. So if you are finding delay between this and 4, then you don't forget about source. Okay, the source is where the input is applied, and it can go here, it can go here. So between them and then what you do is you go from source to here and source to I here, and look at what are the common resistance between the two. So R1, R3, R4, R1, R3, Ri. So source to node 4, these are the resistance, right? You just add them up. Source to node I, these are the resistance you add up. The common is R1, R3. So you need to find that. Capacitance easy, we will look into an example. The resistance gets a little tricky. So between this and this, sorry, between I and 2, then you look at this path and this path and look at what are the common resistance. So if you go from here to here, you have R1, R2. If you go from here, you have R1, R3, Ri. Right? The first one is this, second one is this. The common is only R1, so you consider R1. You understood that? If not, you will get more better. So let's say we want to find a delay between source and I, S and this node. So what we do is we go through every node, because there is impact of every node, right? So first node 1, let's consider for node 1. You go from, and for each node, you first, let's K is that node. K is 1 here. So what you do is you go from source to node 1. You look at what resistances you have. And then you go from S to Ji, and you look at what resistance you have. This thing is common across. But impact of individual one from source to that one is the one where resistance are different. So you need to find a common then between this, this, and this, the common ones. You add the common ones. And the capacitance is simple. Whatever the capacitance to ground that is connected, you consider that. So between this and this node, you need to consider all the nodes. For first, let's look into first node. You have from source node to 1, you have only R1. Source to 2, you have R1, R2. Source to 3, you have R1 plus R3. To 4, you have R1, R3, R4. By the way, I noticed there is a little bit lag between my voice and what I show here. I think somebody highlighted that in the comments too. So I need to debug that and figure out what's happening there. I don't do anything fancy. I just record it on iPad, my screen, and then I talk. So I don't know, was it the case always or just started happening recently? I need to look into that. So apology if my mouse is kind of lagging, or my cursor is lagging. So I don't know what's happening there. So between S to 4, yeah, R1, R3, R4. This one I kept it as, because from S to I, this part is common. So then all you do is find a common between this column and this, and you look at this green one. The common is only R1. For this node 2, again common is R1. For node 3, R1 and R3 are common, and R1, R3 common, and the final, the whole thing is common. So when you put your time constant, you just multiply this with this plus this and this multiplication. So multiply each and then add them all. That's all I did. This is how you're gonna find a time constant. Then if it's a like at 1-on-1, there is no branching happening, it's pretty easy, simple, right? So if you look at this, for example, I didn't put 8 segments or 9 segments. I'm doing it a lot of segments, and the last segment I'm saying, okay, it's the nth segment, and in between you can have a lot. N value we can decide later on. But looking at, you have node 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on and on and on until n. How do we calculate now using Elmore delay the time constant? So remember node 1, between source and 1 is R1. Between source and destination, this whole thing, but the common is only R1. So you see it's pretty simple now, R1 and then C1. On node 2, R1 and R2, and that is only the also the component which is common between here and here. So it's simple, very simple, R1 per 2. As we go to each node, all the resistance to that point are added and the capacitance of that node. So on, so if we keep following for the nth, it will be R1 plus R2 plus R3, on and on and on, all the way to Rn, and multiply with Cn. You understood this? This is a generic equation. Now here a little bit interesting. I will tell you the reason why I am doing this is to show you something important. So bear with me for a second. Even if you are scared of seeing all this, don't worry about it. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much. I mean, it's so simple when you say, you can take a snapshot of it and try to understand that. But I will tell you each and every step. It's important. Follow me. Okay, so if we have a length L, whole length, we divide into n segments, small segment of equal length, and length of each is L over n. So basically you divide the whole thing with the number of segment, and that will be the amount of length that corresponds to each segment. It's like you will have different length, so you divide it up into L over n. This is the length all the way, correct? And since, how much is the each resistance? So if entire entire segment is into n, this is a segment, its length is L over n. Remember this small r's that I mentioned, which is the resistance per unit length? Then when you multiply this with that, that gives you the resistance of this in a lump RC type model. So you can think of, we are creating for very tiny segment, we are getting a lump RC model. So this is for one very tiny length, this is lump RC for another tiny length, this is for another length, and this and so on. So each resistance of each that tiny length over here is R multiplied by the length, which is L over n. In exactly similar way, all these capacitance value is equal, and that is lower C, which is capacitance per unit length, multiply by the length, which is L over N. Now all you have to do is for each R1, R2 are equal this, each C1, C2 is equal to this. All you have to do is put these values in this, and that's all I did. You can follow me here. So look at R1, lower R, L over N. C1, lower C, L over N. This one, R1, you can see if I did a simplification. Basically, if you look at this one, this will be R L over N plus R over N. You have R common, right? Then you will have L over N common, and then what is 1 plus 1, and that will be R L over N 2. That's all I'm doing now. Look at L over N common, 1 plus 1, and then there's a C here for each, and that is just a C L over N. Then I'm combining L over N, so I just substituted in all of them. In the next line, what I'm doing is L over N, one comes from resistance, one comes from capacitance. You multiply them, and then RC. In this one, Ln, you combine them to create this. Sorry if my cursor is not in sync with what I'm talking. 1 plus 1, 2, and this RC. And this one is the same thing, but this 2 will become 3. L over N square is same, and RC is same. So for N, it will be N, L over N, RC. Then if you take common L over N square, then you get this. Hope you're following. Very simple. You can pause the video, look, do it on paper yourself, you will understand that. Then you have RC common. You take it out, this is already out, then 1 plus 2 all the way to N. This is when you have numbers, so many number all the way N. N can be, I don't know, 1 billion, trillion, whatever. You can come up with this expression mathematical to represent this addition. So this whole sum, if you write in terms of N, is something like this. All right. And this is here, L square, N square. Then you join with R and L. This whole length, keep in mind, this L is the entire length of the metal. In individually is L over N, and then C into L. You see what the interesting thing, and this N1 is cancelled with this, and this becomes N plus 1 over N. You bring this 2 over here. What is this one? Remember the lumped R? This is that lumped R. This is that lump C for the entire length. So your expression RC over 2 N plus 1 over N. And if N is very large, means you divided this length into very huge number of segments. And let's say it's 100. 100 plus 1, 101. You can assume that this becomes like N. As you add 1 to a very large number, well, pretty close. And there's N, so basically this will cancel each other. Becomes 1 over 1. So you're left with RC over 2. So do you know where what I'm getting at? Remember the lumped model? In the lumped model, it was RC. And in this case, we are getting RC over 2. And when we calculate delays, all we have to do is D below high is 0.69 of T distributed. And in the other case, it was 0.69 time constant of lump. This one is 0.69 into RC over 2. This is 0.69 into RC. So you can see that, wow. So you can see right away that with the distributed model, this is really the thing that I wanted to show you. That in distributed model, a delay is half of what we had in lump case. And that much pessimism we have, that much extra unnecessary delay we calculate. It was simple model, but it gave us lot bigger value. And we calculate in this way into very large number of ends of small segments and measure the delay or resistance capacitance of each one. It gives a half of the delay. So see, by spending some more time on it, we have come up with an expression. Now every time we don't have to do all that. All we have to do is, okay, divide into very large segments, and then you will have much better delay. Understood? That's really the thing I wanted to get you from this one. So in a way, whenever you have an R and C values, you can find out distribution. Like you can think of this as 0.38 for distribution RC. This is the delay, and in this case it's 0.69 RC. These numbers will give you pretty good, accurate, kind of simple number, pretty close to the real one to come up with. And similarly, what was the um, transition time for low to high? This is a slew or transition. So what you do is, what was that, 2.2 for the lump case, time constant. Now for the distributed case, our time constant is RC over 2. So it actually become 1, so less slew 2. It's not like the actual delay we reduce, that we use a better model, and that way our delay is less. So it's the same circuit, just modeling can add a lot of pessimism in it. And that was the point I wanted to convey with all this mathematical derivation. I really hope you got my point. Distributed RC is the right way, but when you use the lump for anything, just remember there's a good bit of pessimism in it. Hope I'm clear in that. Thank you so much. See you in the next video.